Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm videodiary. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow 3, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. Friday, of course. Got to get down on Friday. You know the line. Everybody say it with me. Well, I already said the line, so I guess that doesn't really make sense anymore. Yeah, it's Friday. We're sort of, well, hopefully we're relaxing. Hopefully you're relaxing. I feel pretty relaxed, so that's all just like a sort of a good time we're hopefully having. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm talking in circles. Hold on. What should we talk about today? I don't really know, to be perfectly honest. Sorry, I'm just sort of trying to adjust my wires here. My wires are a bit of a mess. Hello there, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:07 PM on Friday, March 15th, 2024. Flick taking time, of course. We haven't spoken to Flick for ages. What's going on in the game sphere? The Steam Spring Sale has started. I was looking to pick up some of these games. You might be like, why are you looking to pick up yet again more games which are on your wish list, but you still haven't got around to playing because of the fact that, you know, I still have so many games and series to go through. I should maybe start picking shorter series rather than thinking, not that to say Okami's like a bad game or anything. It's a fantastic game. I'm having a great time with it. Just it's a really long series. You know, like it's expected to take like 60 hours to beat or something, which is, you know, a lot. Or actually, if anything, it's probably like, hey, darling, maybe you should start, you know, that whole streaming thing you were going to do. Something which is like, I've been talking about for ages and then just never done. I really just... like, actually just got to do it at some point. I think, I mean, the anniversary, I suppose, of this channel and Animal Crossing stuff is coming up. So maybe we'll make it as the first stream will be like around then or something, or on the Saturday then. I'm trying to figure out what days I can stream on, because most weekdays I can't really stream on all that easily anymore. Mainly because Monday and Wednesdays, which were previously like my free evenings, are now taken up by the fact the Dungeons and Dragons campaign. You might be like, is that a bad thing? No, of course not. It's an awesome thing. So maybe I'll try Tuesdays, but the Tuesdays will be quite a late night stream, I think. No, that might be... Maybe okay. So I might try and do Thursdays and Saturdays. Saturdays will be like the mainstream. I don't know exactly what timing that's going to be. Afternoon time for UK. I'm trying to think because again, most of my viewers I think are in America, and obviously if you are a viewer, I kind of want you to be able to watch the show, watch the stream. It'd be a shame if you couldn't. So I don't really know exactly what times it's going to be. Maybe I'll try and do Saturday and Sunday or something as generic streams, and then Thursdays if I have a time or something. But of course Saturdays and Sundays are very much subject to change depending on if I'm like busy that weekend or not. Which is not a shame, but it's just like, it is what it is. Wow, Rainbow Six Siege is on an 80% sale. 80%! It's literally £3.40. That is crazy. I love Rainbow Six Siege. It's a really fun game, to be perfectly honest, but it's just not a game which I end up playing. That's so cheap. It's £3.40. That's insane. I mean, to be fair, it does kind of follow like a pseudo free-to-play model, where it's just like you have in-game currency, and that's what you use to buy like new operators. But you get all the base operators, I guess, for free, right? So it's not too bad. Surprising. Yeah, so I just got to figure out a timing for that. I think, okay, you know, I'll say that's what I'm going to do, is I would do my first stream on the week of the anniversary, I suppose, for Animal Crossing, provided I'm not busy that weekend. If I'm busy that weekend, then, you know, there's not really much I can do about it. Just so we can start actually streaming, you know. Sometimes it's best to just be like, oh, you know, this is when I'm actually going to do something. So then people actually can look forward to it in that sense. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'm going to finish this sort of YouTuber model for a while, mainly because I just don't have the time to really work on it properly. There's like a million other things I need to work on, which take priority, which is why. But I don't know, maybe today I can do a bit drawing or something. I haven't done a lot of drawing for ages. Honestly, it's just shading. You know what, let's open up Clip Studio Paint, maybe it'll be a motivation, maybe it won't be. Anyway, sorry, what we can talk about today? Steam sale. I'm just surprised, that's like a really cheap deal. Have I ever talked about a tiny sticker tail? What is this? Hold on. Is this by the creators of Chicory? No. This art style feels so familiar though. No, it's by the people who did Lonesome Village, which is on my wishes as well. You know what? Add it to my wish list. Ogre Pixel. No wonder. I was like, this art style looks so familiar. I've definitely seen it before. Sticky business. £14. That's right. Wait, how expensive is Lonesome Village? Wait, how long does it take to be loaned? £9.29. It's not really much of a discount. It's discount with 1% more as a bundle, but still. Keeper. Oh, it's a puzzle game. Okay. It's a relaxed puzzle game with farming sim. Okay, interesting. Which of these Steam games do I want to buy? I don't know what would be a good one to pick up. Gunfire Reborn was another. Like, there's some of these games which I'm just like, I feel like I want to kind of play with friends, but of course we're all, as adults now, it's all like quite difficult to get the timings to work out and that sort of thing and organise things. You know, but sometimes, you know, you miss the simpler days of when you were like a kid or a teen. Like after school, you know, in school you would talk about a game, and then at least for us, we'd go on MSN or we'd go on Skype afterwards and be like, yo, who's going to pick up this game and that sort of thing. And then we'd like get a group of 4 people or something and we just like play the game, and it's just like a fun time. Or, you know, you play the game in your spare time and then, you know, you hop on and be like, oh yeah, no, I'm playing it. Nowadays it's so much harder because of course everyone's got much more busy schedules, everyone's doing things, you know, myself included, and it makes it hard to find the time to do these sort of things. Now, of course, me saying this, and I have a bunch of friends who would very much, of course, be down to play these sort of games. I'm absolutely certain of it. But it's also hard to like organise it at the same time. You know? I don't mean this as a slight to any of my friends, because it's not meant to be a slight. Like, it wasn't even, like, I wasn't even insulting anyone, so I suppose. But by making it, by me saying that disclaimer that this wasn't meant to be a slight, I guess it kind of makes it sound more like a slight, doesn't it? But I don't know. Like, there's a very different dynamic, because, you know, nowadays, you know, I suppose back in the day of a teenage era when you're a child or whatever, most of the times you can expect people to be online after school or that sort of thing, or like if they have like a club and then they'll be on after a club like past dinner time or something, because like what else are you doing around that sort of age? Nowadays it's a lot harder for that to happen. You never know what, like, because most of the time a lot of people were like always on and that sort of thing, so you can just like play whatever game. If you're playing a game, you know, you just sort of like be like, let's play it today in school, and then like after school you do it. But like now, of course, people, you know, might be like different levels of tiredness after like work or something, or they have like other errands that they need to do and things like that. It makes it a bit more difficult. It's kind of more improvisational, where it's just like, oh, if all of us are together in a call, and then let's try and play this game. But of course it completely varies on a day-to-day basis of who ends up being in that call and like what time it is, how people are feeling. It makes it difficult to be like, oh yeah, let's play this game together, because it's like, oh right, you need this exact combination of people who wanted to play this game, who are playing this game together, and it's like, in reality it's not actually that complicated, to be perfectly honest, but it's just like, I guess it's not as like straightforward. And I think it's just, the main reason is just because people tend to be busier, you know, people tend to not have as much energy, I suppose. Like, at least personally for me, you know, school was very not that draining, I suppose, for me. So it's just like, what do? You know, go to school and go home and play video games and do homework, I guess. But now it's just like, I guess the main thing as well is not only do people have like, of course, work and or things like that, which accompany errands, which accompany the majority of the time. I think it's more like a growing a growing acceptance of people chasing their own individual hobbies, you know. I think maybe it's especially true for me, but the concept of wanting to do things together as a group back in school, and it's sort of like the friends by circumstance sort of thing, which, you know, amusingly doesn't actually apply to me all that much, because I'm still very good friends with a lot of my friends from secondary school. But like the general concept of, if you want to do something, I suppose, at least for me personally when I was younger, you know, it's one thing just to like sort of like pursue a hobby, but it's like you also tend to try and pursue things which your friends are doing, or what's popular with your friends, etc., etc. You know, less sort of I guess what it is kind of your own. You're finding your own way. You're finding who you are as a person with that sort of time. And by the time you become an adult, like, you know, me and most of my friends are now, it's not like you've basically figured yourself out, but you kind of know what you like. You kind of know about the things which interest you and what sort of things you want to pursue. I mean, take example of this YouTube channel. For one major thing, it's like me recording this YouTube channel is, of course, me not necessarily spending that time, you know, doing something with my friends. But at the same time, this is something I want to do. And it's not like I don't want to spend time with my friends, but maybe like that time spent with friends would be doing something which I was like less inclined about or something. Like playing League of Legends is like, I do like playing League of Legends, not so much because of League of Legends anymore, but because of my friends. I still actually do kind of like the game, to be honest. Like I don't think it's a bad game, but maybe that's because I don't really engage with it on that much of a competitive sense anymore. So I just sort of like do whatever. But it wouldn't really be my go-to choice of activity a lot of time. You might, you know, a lot of time you'd be like, would you rather record like a YouTube channel or stream or something, or would you rather play a match of League of Legends? I'd be like, of course I'd rather record a video. If you were like, would you rather do it by yourself or would you rather do it with friends? And I'd be like, oh, okay, I'd probably rather do something with my friends, right? But I suppose that incongruence, I suppose what it is more, as I say, the acceptance of being like, you know, not everything you do is something you do together, right? Of course, there's still plenty of things, and by the nature of having friendships and relationships, is you're meant to compromise in some sense. That like it's still nice to find things which you can all enjoy and do together, which we do. We still play games, of course, together, what have you. But like these individual hobbies which we all chase or which we all pursue, or like activities we want to do, I think, you know, as adults now, we're much more accepting of like, oh, you know, of like our own tastes and that sort of things. And you know, people, I guess it's that feeling of people don't feel as left out, you know, from these sort of things anymore. Like I'm trying to think, and maybe I'm just like me projecting myself as from when I was younger, but when I was younger, and I mean even now, I still like want to do like everything, you know. You like, do you want the opportunity to do this? I'll be like, yeah, sure. But now, you know, I suppose as I get older, you know, as a teenager, sorry that I didn't even finish that trailer for, it's just sort of like, I guess I had this concept of like things I wanted to do, but I wanted to do them with all my friends together, which is obviously just like ridiculous, because one, my friends aren't me. It's not like we're going to share exactly the same interests as I want to do. Like I'm trying to think of a good example off the top of my head. Like maybe if I was like, oh, I wanted to like learn dancing, I was like, but I wouldn't like go learn how to dance or something unless all my other friends were also doing it as well. And I would be like, and you know, this didn't actually happen, but like theoretically be like, hey, does everyone want to go to these like dance lessons? And some people might be like, yeah, that sounds like fun. Some people might be like, oh, try it. And some people will be like, nah, it's not really my sort of thing. But then I suppose that sort of like the possibility of not everyone doing it is like a mental block in my head where I'm like, no, that means I can't do it anymore. Which obviously inherently saying it out loud now, it's like, what? It doesn't make any sense. Just go learn to dance if you wanted to learn to dance. Which I think is kind of like, some people need to, you know, take time to learn that. I suppose me being one of them. It's something which I guess I always intrinsically knew, or something I thought, but like it takes time for it to actually, you know, the difference between knowing of what the right decision is and actually feeling that right decision takes time, I suppose, for it to like percolate into your brain. So yeah, I don't know. I guess this is like a very long-winded way to say that we all have our different activities and things which we are pursuing on our own time. But of course, these individual pursuits are things which take away from the time which could be spent with other people and that sort of thing. And it's a balancing act. Like but I guess that part of like going into adulthood with this is the understanding that is like, yeah, that doesn't mean like the friendship's toast or anything like that. It's just more like we're appreciative of our own individual pursuits. I mean, like my friends ask me like how my YouTube channel's going, like now and then, like am I having fun recording these videos? And yeah, like what new games have I played? Yeah, these are games. It's cool, it's fun. And they all got their own individual hobbies which are pursuing, or like goals that they want to try and like achieve, etc, etc. And it's interesting to see what they're doing, you know, as well, what they're learning about, what they're trying, etc, etc, and how it's going. Everyone's got their own different things that they want to do, so it's like, you know, I don't know why I just had this flashback. I was like, this was literally a plot to one of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic episodes. I can't remember. It's not even one I remember that well. It's like Apple Bloom is the Cutie Mark Crusaders, right? But it's basically TLDR, the kid characters in the show find what is their driving force and what things they like to do. But now that they found their sort of purpose in life, they realise that all three of their different purposes or things which drive them are different. Because before they were trying to find their purpose in life, they were trying a load of different things together. Now they're doing the things that they actually want to do, but detached from each other, and it's coming to grips with that sort of thing. And I can't remember exactly how the plot goes, but the general gist of like the thing to learn from it is like, you know, we can still do things together. Like I'd still love to try all these sort of things, but we don't have to do everything together. You don't like doing this thing, I love to do. So it's fine that if we do them separately, and we can talk to each other about it when we come back. And that's like the thing. Like when you pursue, it's much better, I suppose. Or I shouldn't say it's much better, but it's a lot easier to pursue an interest that you like and make friends through that interest than make your friends also interested in your interests. I will say, of course, there's always a base level of that. You should at least be like a base level interested in your friend's interest. Like if they want to talk to you about something or just happened which is personal to them, listen, it's always good to have like a base level knowledge of what's going on so you can at least follow the conversations and that sort of thing. You don't have to be hyper invested. Of course, it always does feel great if your friend is also hyper invested in what you're in, but I think part of growing up and realizing that everyone's different is the fact that it's like the acceptance, like, yeah, they're not going to be, and I shouldn't expect them to be. It's, I'm not going to say inherently selfish, but I guess, in some ways it is. It's more, maybe self-serving is the best way to put it, which, I myself am guilty of course. It's self-serving to be like, my friend should be interested in this because I'm interested in this. I'm sure that's not what people actively think. I can speak on my behalf. That's not what I actively think when those sort of emotions, like, pass through me. But it is, fundamentally, I guess that's the core concept of it. I have an interest in this. I want to show it to my friends, and my friends aren't interested in this. And then I when I was younger as a teen, I sort of had like that blowback reaction where it's like, why aren't you interested in this? This is really cool. You should be interested in this. Well, now it'd be like, hey, that's cool that they were at least engaging with me on this, but it's not their sort of thing. And now, the thing would be like, if I wanted to make more connections to talk about with this, you make it through that interest rather than through your friends. And your friends could just be if anything, it kind of strengthens friendships in that way, or relationships in general, because it means that they're not relationships by circumstance, like school, or like you go to the same activity or club, or you have this common interest. You're friends because of their personality or something, or because of a dynamic, or because of a actual relationship and the virtues that you share between yourselves. If anything, that's what I'm saying. It strengthens it, right? It's saying that, like, despite I guess there's no truer test of friendship than truer display of friendship than two people who are, oh wow, Apollo, you just really annoyed Fawnhallow, it seems. No truer display of friendship than two people who have no common interests but are still really good friends with each other and still like engage with each other in some way, despite the fact that activities and hobbies, interests, pursuits don't overlap. I don't really know where I was going with this, to be honest. It's like individual pursuits, that sort of thing. It's just like people have their own things. Anyway, but the long and short of it, I guess I want to say, is that it's just more difficult to find time, I suppose, to find these co-op games to play together. But when it does align, I guess it makes it all the more special. No? Should we talk to Fauna while she's angry? It's rare to see Fauna so angry. You won't believe this. I was reading my book. I just got into a really good part. When Apollo walks by and asks if I reached a big plot twist in the story yet, how can I fully enjoy my book now, knowing that's coming? You get that, don't you, Cupcake? Sure I do. Oh, it makes me feel so much better that you understand why that would upset me, Doe. I guess Apollo could have blurted that out without thinking. It happens. I'll try to forget about it and go back to enjoying my book. I wonder if that's actually the conversation they've had. Do you have anything to say to yourself, Apollo? Yee. Always a pleasure. I guess not then. Maybe you do? Yeah, I don't know. Individual pursuits and that sort of thing. Very human, very normal, and, makes you appreciate the time you spent together more, I suppose. Because then, I guess, on greater reflection, is I wonder how many of the times we spent playing games after school were sort of more by circumstance or anything. Like, when I say I have really good friends still from, like, my high school and that sort of thing, I'm not friends with everyone from my high school, which I hung out with, after school and that sort of thing. Most of them, yes. But then you might be like, what about primary school? Yeah, I'm like friends with no one from primary school anymore. There's a lot of things which sort of just happen by circumstance, and I guess for things which last past the circumstance existing are kind of like the true tests in the end. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode up here. I don't know. It was got weirdly philosophical and reminiscing, which I guess every Dear Darling Animal Crossing video is. Anyway, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.